Hey, Groovers. Oh, that breeze is a little bit chilly, but hopefully we'll get nice and warm on the walk. Stunning day here today. It's going to get to 18 degrees Celsius, which is pretty pleasant. It was a lot calmer when I went on the beach this morning, earlier today, but I felt like taking you guys for a walk because Park Cafe is open on Thursdays, so I'm going to go for a bit of a walk and then head to the cafe and grab lunch, head back up the hill and keep studying. So come and hang out, and no topics off limits. Come and chat about what's on your mind. But yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous day. I'm a little bit underdressed. I've got a t-shirt and a little skirt on, like a little tennis skirt kind of thing. But the sun's out. Hey, Tanny. Welcome, gorgeous. Look at the colour of the sky. It's such a gorgeous day. But yeah, tiny bit underdressed, but my lily white legs will act as a beacon. If anything happens to me, they'll find me because my legs are iridescent white. What's news with you, Tan? Anything to report? Looks like we've got a house being, well, we have not, looks like there's a house being built over here at the moment. I like watching houses being built. I'm doing really well, thanks, gorgeous. I'm studying today and starting to write another expression of interest for another board, but mainly studying. Doing a fair bit of stuff in my Facebook community at the moment because it's pretty big community of nearly 15,000 people. But last US election, the group just got out of hand and my poor moderators were working around the clock, as was I, just to try to keep things under control. And in the end, we had to put a ban on any threads regarding the election, the US election, for a couple of weeks because it was just so out of hand. And you know, half the group is American and the rest of the world is watching. Well, most people around the world are watching on with interest. It's, you know, it's a pretty important thing. It does impact all of us to some extent. But it just had, you know, we had hundreds and hundreds of threads that were identical. People just kept posting new stuff and it's like, there's already threads on there in the group. So this time around, because we know how heated it got, and also just how much it derailed the purpose of the group. Like, we're a non-censor group, so all topics are welcome, but when you've got a timeline with 30 or 40 threads in a row that are all just about the US election, it kind of it put a lot of people off, even Americans. So this year we're going to turn on post approval on Saturday in the US, but I'll be turning it on when I get up on Sunday morning. And the mods and I have got a little document where we're going to put the subject matter of the threads that we approve, and we're encouraging our members to go to those threads and engage in discussion, not keep starting threads on identical topics. And hopefully things will sort themselves out. Oh, we've got a new step. I mean, it's an old brick, but I'm doing a bit of work on the track. Kim Smith, how are you? Oh, crikey, a hurricane? No way. I haven't seen you for ages. I've actually got one of your daughter's scrunchies in my hair. I still wear them all the time. I had a lot of hair cut off and my little messy buns that I love so much. I can't do at the moment still because it's a little bit too short. And they I don't like tendrils hanging out the back. But I do like a little messy knot, but down on the nape of my neck now with them. But I've got the yellow one. which is my favourite one. I wear that more than the others. Always got one on my wrist when I head out, when my hair's down, because I know at some point I want to put it up. And I'm back at the gym doing gym stuff, but also yoga. And I've even got matching headbands for some of them now. The kind of burgundy floral one, I've got a burgundy headband. Hey, Shanna. Yes, listen, don't be looking. We're just going for a walk. I'm keen to see what people want to talk about. No topic off limits. This is a no censor channel today. Because my life's been very much computer oriented of late, so I'm keen to hear what people are up to. And a hurricane's pretty full on. That's pretty incredible news. I hope you've battened down the hatches. We're just starting to get our houses fire ready for the summer. So weird that we're already at that time of the year again. Like the massive bushfires in Australia over summer, it doesn't seem that long ago. But yeah, we've all got our fire protection plans in place, getting all of that set up. Hasn't the year flown? It's so weird. Like on the one hand, it feels like we've all just been frozen in time in a way. You know, everyone's sort of been living these Groundhog Day existences, and time has been a little bit of a random concept. But suddenly it's, you know, Christmas and Halloween and Thanksgiving, New Year's. Hey, Scout Inquirer. We are walking and talking. It is beautiful today. It's a tiny bit cold. There's a breeze now. I came down here this morning for my power walk, and I seriously do like crazy power walking. But it was so calm and still. I sort of regretted not bringing my camera down with me before, my phone. I'm going to really struggle reading the screen. Hang on, I'll see if I can brighten it a bit. That's better. That's better. It was so dark. I was like, this is going to suck. I'm just going to take my shoes off. So yeah, I came down this morning and it was dead calm. It was beautiful. It's still beautiful now, but there's a little bit of a breeze. This is my little horseshoe spot. For those of you who don't know it, this is where you'll usually find me in summer with the boards and my book and towels, and it's kind of our spot. It's so disappointing when I come down and there's some bloody people from town who we call townies who've taken it, because it gives you a bit of shelter from the wind. So what's news, Groovers? Anything exciting happened in your lives? On the tubes, I'm assuming on the tubes it's all the same shit. Sorry if that wind's a bit noisy on the mic. So what I'm going to do is we'll walk up probably to the surf club and then turn around and head back down the beach, and then I'm going to go around to Park Cafe because I'm smart and I remembered they're only open Thursdays to Sundays, and I'm going to have some lunch there and a coffee, or I might grab them and head home. But I just really wanted to stretch my legs and have a break from my computer screen and all the Facebook group modding I was doing this morning. Took a bit longer than I'd planned. And I was waiting for my phone to charge to do this live. And 5 minutes before I headed off, I'm like, oh, great. The PowerPoint's not turned on. So my phone was on like 56%. Anyway, I chucked it on for 10 minutes and it got up to 70 something. So hopefully we'll be alive for a while. There's someone up ahead who's swimming. No, that's making me feel cold. I will do a little paddle. I'll give you a temperature check on the water, but we've had some really shitty weather lately, so I'm not expecting it to be very warm at all. Tanny's been colouring in, listening to music, dot painting. I love dot painting. I mean, I can't do it, but I love the people can do it. Went off YouTube for 3 days on eBay, Amazon, and buying coins from a site. Fun. That's all good mindfulness stuff. Oh, Kim, that's lovely. And yeah, I do still wear them. And I gave one of them, I think I told you at the time, I gave one of them to my friend Laura. She chose the sort of, it was kind of animal print, but not really. It was a really dark chocolate brown and white patterned one, and she loves hers too. And I did buy a couple of scrunchies after you sent me those ones because I was getting so used to wearing them and I wanted a couple of different colours. I wanted a blue one. So I bought a couple and they just don't come. I mean, I just don't wear them. When my nieces come down, I'm like, do you want this scrunchie? And they're like, yep. And they take them, but there's no way I'm giving up your daughter's ones. I could just go online and buy some more. So, well, stay safe, Kim. I hope the hurricane isn't too feral and that you make it through. Yeah, stay indoors and stay cozy and safe. So good to see you, Kim. Scout Inquirer, we've had a lot of rain today in New York in fall, so it's quite chilly. Yeah, but aren't parts of the state saying that their weather's still really hot and it's freaking them out because it's meant to be getting colder or cooler? I mean, we had a pretty decent winter. It wasn't really, really cold or anything like that. And then we had all this really warm weather. And it was like, wow, we're not even having spring this year. It's gone from winter to summer. We all got very optimistic. And then it got really cold again. So, but nothing to complain about. I mean, really cold here isn't even below 0 degrees Celsius, you know, like where I live, we don't get below 32 degrees Celsius. We probably get to in Fahrenheit, 32 Fahrenheit. We probably get to maybe 40 degrees Fahrenheit at the coldest, and that's like, you know, first thing in the morning on a frosty morning in winter. That's about it. I think you've shown me your dot paintings or some of them, Tanny, but I'm always happy to have another look. Unless it's a dot painting of a teddy bear. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That live was fun last night. How was it? Well, it's obviously not that warm in the water because she came out again pretty quickly, but good on her. Pretty brave. Mind you, my neighbour who has been, well, he's not really a neighbour, he lives past my house. Somewhere he walks on the track that goes in front of my house down to the beach. And we've chatted a fair bit over the year, and he made a New Year's resolution to have a swim every single day, and he has. And I saw him this morning, and he's so funny. He's like, it's starting to get warm. And I'm like, it's still fucking freezing. What are you talking about? Like, I'll dip my toes. Yeah, it's fucking cold. It's cold. Not freezing cold, just cold. And there's a little bit of chill on that breeze, but just the sun's out. Look at the sky. Look at it, guys. Look at these pretty colours. Hey, puppy. Oh, thank you. I needed that. Oh, more puppies. Hello. People ask me what my favourite colour is. Well, people assume that my favourite colour is red because I've got a lot of red in my house. That's partly because years ago someone said, Feng Shui, have something red in every room. And I started putting red in every room and went, wow, red goes with everything. And I love like dark browns and chocolate browns, and I love cream and white. So, you know, red's a great colour to throw in with all of that. But, I mean, have a look at the view right now. My favourite colour is blue. And it always has been. In fact, I'm wearing a blue skirt, a blue T-shirt, And I'm pretty sure from memory, even my undies are blue today. And I've got a little blue shoulder bag, my wallet and drink bottle for when I go to Park Cafe shortly to get some lunch. I know it's not quite lunchtime yet, but I pick it up, I drink the coffee, and then I either heat up or eat the lunch depending on what I'm going to get. But I'm probably going to get their artichoke and cheesy sauce toasted sandwich because it's so good. The bread and the butter, oh my God, it's so good. And that's really easy to reheat, like just to pan fry it on a low heat. Yeah, Aboriginal dot paintings, they're beautiful if they're done properly. Some people have, oh, look, I'm never going to say to people that they shouldn't have a crack at things. But Tanny's got a lot of knowledge about our Indigenous culture. So she would be doing them with a great amount of respect. But some people have a crack at them and they're not good and they don't really respect. They're not disrespecting the culture, but they're not acknowledging it or representing it. So I'm a bit wary. I have looked at buying Indigenous art pieces in the past, but I've spent a lot of time researching who actually painted them before I buy them because, you know, I don't want some lady in a posh suburb of Sydney who has absolutely no awareness of their culture. It doesn't bother me if they're not Indigenous. Like, I think if people are keen to learn about a culture and learn how to make things or paint things, I'm all for that because I think that's all part of reconciliation. Some people might disagree, but that's my stance on it. But I don't want to buy artwork from someone who hasn't actually connected with that culture. Like, I know how to do basket weaving. Pardon me. I know I've learned how to do Indigenous Australian basket weaving because every year when I go up to Blues Fest Music Festival, they have an Indigenous festival that runs at the same time at the same site, and they have a lot of workshops. And I've been taught how to do that basket weaving. And as pretty as the baskets are, they're actually more functional than pretty, to be honest. But it's the stories that are told while you're actually weaving and the significance of the direction in which you weave, even the reeds that you use, all of that stuff is the stuff that matters. The end product might be practical, it might be beautiful, but it's the stories that are incorporated into creating those things that are the crucial part. You like the puppy dogs? Yes, Scout. Oh, Tanny's answered you, but yeah, oh no, she said you're welcome. Yeah, the cafe is open Thursdays to Sundays. You don't need to retract that comment, Tanny. I mean, I understand that you might want to, but I think it's really lovely that you have that heritage and he has that heritage and culture in your family. It's beautiful. I wish we did. But instead, I just do my best to spend time. We've got a really strong Indigenous community where I live. I think I've talked to you guys before about some of the projects that we all have as a community up under the bluff. There's an area that's a sacred site, and over summer in particular, they have a lot of gatherings there with educational information and storytelling and dream time. And they give us little plants to take home and nurture, and then they put a call out for everyone to return and we all plant them together. And like, it's a very united community. It's not a them and us sort of thing. They're very keen for everything to be shared and explored and enjoyed, and they're just as interested in learning about all of our family stories as well and weaving that into it. So a lot of Australians are from Scottish and Irish and English descent. So there are actually a lot of plants that are planted in those gardens from those countries as well, which is really lovely. Like everything's interwoven and harmonious. I feel very, very lucky. Elders wanted to buy your paintings once. That's the ultimate compliment, Tammy. Just checking my Wi-Fi is switched off. Yes, it is. Good, good, good. Yeah, they are beautiful, aren't they, Scout Inquirer? You might have to, Tanny, you might have to get a little online marketplace happening. We all should be supporting each other, if everyone in my community on YouTube, I mean, I shouldn't call it my, because I know you guys jump all over the place, but as far as when you're hanging out with me, I'd love to have some sort of marketplace where you guys could show off the things that you do creatively and we can all support you. I was watching a channel the other day which was on, she kind of lied because she said, vintage items sale, and I got very excited because I love vintage. I wasn't going to buy anything. She was a girl in America. The postage would be ridiculous. But I wanted to watch out of curiosity. Anyway, her vintage items were all from the 80s and they were really kitsch. But it made me think, I mean, not that I want to do that sort of stuff, but it's like we've all got these different talents and skills and things that we create. And wouldn't it be lovely to have some sort of way that we could all self-promote each other? That's one of the reasons I was really excited about getting a community page when I get to 1,000 subscribers on my main channel, because that's the perfect place to have like a marketplace where you guys are all able to share the things that you do and what you create. I'd much rather pay someone I know for the things that they're creating than a complete stranger. Oh, see, look at you, Tanny. Beautiful heart. I would have done the same thing. I was just saying, though, what a compliment that they were prepared to buy them. I mean, that shows the value that they saw in your work. But yeah, that was the bummer about my channel getting struck, my main one, because I'm going to change the names today for the last time ever, I promise. I've decided to settle on Yum Tory. I think Yum Tour sounds incomplete. Yum Tours, unfortunately, YouTubers call me Yumters. And even though I start all my lives with welcome to the Yum Tours channel, and even though in a few chats I've been like, it's like Yankee Tour, it's Tour, Yum Tours. So I'm going to change it to Yum Tory, I've decided. I'm keeping the yum because it's just a word I love. Everything's yum to me. Like, food's yum, obviously. But if I get wrapped up in a beautiful Waverley Woolen Mills throw rug, and I'm all warm and snuggly, it's like yum. Or if someone sends me a really lovely message out of the blue, it makes me feel yum. So, yeah, I think Yum Tory. I did think about being Chonky Tour as a joke, but I'm not going to. I like being called Tor. I like Tori, obviously, because that's what most people call me. But Tor is a name that really close friends and family call me. And, yeah. Because I feel if I change it to Yum Tor, it's still going to be pronounced Yumta. I don't know. I don't know why I've struggled so much with a channel name. Considering originally my channel name was my full name, as was Tanny's. A lot of us Australians were arriving on these US channels with our actual names. It's only because of fucking doxing that we're all like, I mean, I don't care. My full name's out there, but, and I've got a podcast, so I'm kind of okay with with people actually knowing my real name. But yeah, I haven't seen Lady Pegasus. I need to send her another message just to check in on her again. But she also, when I first met her, her YouTube name was her full name. But we had all these Americans going, oh, you might want to change your name. And there's another YouTube creator, Tori Hartman. And those of you guys know my name's Hodgman. And I'm quite sure I got a few subs because Judy Ron, I used to go and chat to Judy Ron like when no one else was in there, just be him and me at some really weird hour in America. I'd be awake because it'd be like late afternoon or something. But he used to come on quite a few of my beach walks and stuff. So he knows I'm a different person. But I do remember very early on in the piece, one time he was like, yeah, you've all got to subscribe to Tori Hodgman. She's written books. She's fantastic. And I was like, oh, I think you're talking Tori Hartman, but I'll take it. So thank you, Judy Ron. Shout out to you. We did end up getting to know each other well, and he realised I was another person. But, yeah, for a little while there, I was getting recognition for a much harder working YouTuber, a much more established YouTube channel than mine. I checked in on Lady Pegasus maybe 3 weeks ago. So yeah, I do need to message her again, Tammy, but Scout. But yeah, she's really good. She's just got a lot of real life things occupying her time at the moment. Look, to be honest, she's probably had this long a break from YouTube and just gone, yeah, I don't miss it. You know, that could have happened. But it was nothing to do with YouTube. She was just dealing with a lot of stuff, pretty stressful life things. So, yeah, I did check in on her. I'll send her another message. She was good, though. She was really good. But I do miss her popping in. You really notice subs when they disappear for a while. It's so interesting because I kept thinking I'm so bad with names. I've got this YouTube channel. I mean, you guys hear me. Sometimes someone pops in and says hi, and I'm like, oh, are you new? And they're like, no, I've been watching you for 2 years. I just don't say much. It's like, oh, sorry. And sometimes people have changed their channel names and they forget that you don't know that. But yeah, it worried me a bit that I wouldn't recognise people. But it's interesting how quickly you notice someone when they're not in your chat very often. I will scout inquire. I'll send it to everyone. I'll say everyone misses her. I don't think it was stuff that was going to be fixed in a short period of time. And yeah, no, nothing scary or nothing for anyone to worry about. She just had life things happening that were a bit bigger than YouTube. Don't we all? I don't know. There's a question for everyone to discuss while we walk along the beach. I don't think some people on YouTube do have big life issues happening, because if they did, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing on YouTube all the time. I really wish some of them who are able-bodied can actually leave their homes because they're not terminally ill or sick or suffering from a mental illness that's so debilitating they can't leave the house. You know, and some of them have already got jobs, which is awesome. But I often wonder what some of those people would be achieving if they were actually volunteering, doing some advocacy. I mean, they've got fire in their bellies, right? They get fired up about shit. Become an advocate. You can still do shit on YouTube, and you can use your channel for your advocacy as well. But I just think the cumulative hours spent on just talking about other people that you'll probably never meet, it's a waste of their intelligence and their time. $3, like, yeah, exactly, Tanny. Stay on YouTube and then you don't end up on Amazon buying things. Yeah, and you know, look, God, some of them do incredibly well to build and maintain YouTube channels, because you do have to commit, you do have to put in a lot of time to keep your subs entertained. You've got to keep coming up with new ideas. Sure, there's a heap of subs who just want the drama, and that's fine. They've got their place. I personally would have been checking myself, maybe 3 or 4 months into it going, why am I so obsessed with this shit and withdrawing? But if that's what people want to watch, if that's their, 2020 equivalent of watching The Bold and the Beautiful or whatever, I get it. It's fine. But some of them are incredible. They work, they've got kids, and they also are building channels. That's impressive. But what about the ones that just seem to be on YouTube 24/7 and always everywhere? We all see them. I belong to so many different YouTube communities, and there are some where no one from the communities where we all met pretty much. I never see them in chat. And I'm like, cool. And then I'll be participating in the chat and having a lovely time. And then someone will come in that I do recognise. I'm like, fuck me dead. You watch live scam baiting too? And I don't mean someone from my channel, like some random from one of the drama communities or whatever. All right, we're going to turn around. I'm not going to go all the way to the surf club. Mainly because I don't want the battery to conk out. And also I've already done a beach walk. Me too, Scout Inquirer. Yeah, I want you to get creative, Channy. I still think you'd have a hilarious cooking show. And I'm happy to be the translator. I can record voice tracks and send them to you that you can play over the top. Like you'll say this 83-word sentence that goes on and on and on. And I'll be like, Channy says, eat it. That sort of stuff. It'll be funny. Yeah, look, I do enjoy YouTube because I do actually prefer listening to people talking about stuff from a civilian perspective, I guess. I like listening to different opinions on crimes that have gripped me as well, or I listen to quite a few kind of agenda-free type political channels on YouTube, which I find really interesting. Not agenda-free TV. I used to listen to him and he pisses me off now. I gave him a super chat once to show my sister how super chats work and he didn't acknowledge it, and I think he's a doofus. But I like learning stuff. I do a lot of how-to things on YouTube, especially sort of blokey mechanical kind of stuff. I really enjoy learning how to do that and doing it all by myself. It's very fulfilling. You got fired from Nanny's cooking adventures. Harsh. Harsh. No, I'm with you, Scout. I don't like the negative drama or people being mean at all. At all. But it doesn't mean I don't tune into those channels sometimes, because sometimes they do things that are not drama. Which, once again, as I've reiterated so many times, isn't drama, it's pitching. That's all it is. But sometimes they do things that are fun. Like I like reaction videos. That's my kind of humour. I like if they do like trivia nights and quiz nights, that sort of stuff. I'm right into that shit. I'm a massive geek. Or if they're talking about someone who I've had a personal experience with on YouTube that hasn't been overly pleasant, I have to admit, I must confess, I do enjoy that. I don't enjoy that someone else is being upset, hurt, or harassed or whatever by that person. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but I do like knowing that it wasn't just me and other people are seeing now what that person's like. Like I do get fulfillment out of that, but not for 6 hours straight. I do like the recap channels that just give you a snippet and you're like, okay, cool. So I must admit, yeah, there are times I get an alert for a video or a live and it's on a topic that I'm like, that person's still up to their old tricks. And it makes me sad that, more people are falling victim to their crap, but it does make me feel better knowing that, And I didn't go through those experiences with this person on my own. So I know that I wasn't alone in my thinking or anything. But it is kind of validating to know that it really isn't personal. It's just that person's MO because they're still doing it 2 years later to other people. Yeah, the Cliff Note channels are really good. If they're unbiased, though, um, I think some of them, when you've seen a live or you've heard part of a live and then you see what they put up and it's a bit edited and doesn't necessarily show the full picture, that's a bit shitty. Or they crop it so they don't show what led up to that person losing it, So sometimes they're not great. But as far as just getting a bit of an idea of what's happening around the tubes, those recap channels are great. But again, who's got the time? I mean, good on them. I appreciate them doing it. But some of them cover so many different YouTube channels. They must just be like jumping around, recording shit, editing up all their little videos. Wow. Wow. I mean, look, if I could survive without having to work, I'd do that. I'd be a recap channel. I wouldn't tell anyone who it was. I'd keep it secret forever. But I'd do it. If I didn't have to make money to survive, I'd learn how to make those videos and stuff. But God, some of them are just, how many different channels that they clip. It's crazy. But I can also see it being a really addictive pastime. I mean, some of these people might work during the day. They get home, they may not have to feed kids anymore. The kids might have left home. They may have never had kids. They might be single. And they love being online and they love following all this YouTube. Maybe they do it at night. Maybe it is their nighttime hobby. But it's how do they know? How do they even know all these channels exist? I've discovered so many channels because of those recap channels. It's like, holy shit. And a few more people to the batshits, as I call most of the YouTube community, the batshits. Thanks, Tanny. And yeah, the little footprints, that's my emoji. We decided on that a long time ago, didn't we? Yeah, I haven't cottoned on to the speeding up. I think I can do it on my phone, but not on my laptop. I saw someone cropping a video the other day, and they had all these features that I don't have. I don't know if it's just restricted to Apple products or what, but I think I worked out I can speed them up on my phone, but I don't think I can speed them up on my laptop. But this person had all these buttons and features on their screen, and I'm like, I don't have any of that shit. And I've got YouTube Premium. This channel, not this channel, my other channel's YouTube Premium because I was a Google products subscriber for a long time before YouTube Premium came in, and you automatically got it as being a long-term Google customer because I've had my Google Music, for example, for, I don't know, I've been paying $12.99 a month or whatever for that for like, God, maybe 8 years. I'm so bummed though. I spent ages and ages and ages building all of these awesome libraries, playlists, and Google Music's migrating to YouTube Music. And don't get me wrong, YouTube Music so far is proving to be interesting. But like any new music platform, you've got to spend a lot of time thumbsing up and thumbsing down stuff so they can kind of build playlists for you based on algorithms and your preferences. So I've got a little bit of building to do, but I haven't worked out. It told me that all of my playlists and everything would migrate over, but they haven't. And I'm a bit bummed about that because I have spent hours and hours. I noticed the other day I can download all of them, but they just download into, actually what I need to do is set up a file on my Google Drive or something and just download them all to that. YouTube should have a manual for all the different features. I'm kind of glad I don't have all those extra buttons, but it was just weird looking at them going, how come you've got all of that stuff? I've never seen any of that. It's a bit like, when Facebook changes their interface, and some people get it before others. So like I was whinging about going, oh, this is terrible with the new layout, which I'm now completely used to and don't mind at all. But when I first got it, I kept switching back to classic. But there'd be heaps of people commenting going, oh, I haven't got that yet. But they don't roll things out country by country. I learned with Facebook, they roll it out by the year that you joined. So, yeah, it's not one country gets it at one time. It's the year you joined. And I joined it the year after it started because I had a university email address and I was doing breakfast radio and everyone was on MySpace. And I discovered Facebook and signed up and I was telling people, I'm like, guys, you've got to check this thing out called Facebook. And back then, like original Facebook, college Facebook, had all these really cool games. Like I had a dog that you could release onto other people's pages and it would dig up holes and it would come back up through the hole with like a cable in its mouth and it'd be going zzz, zzz, zzz. And it'd do a poo on someone's page, or you could do like paint bombing. Hey, Mercedes girl. And yeah, you could paint bomb. And then they also had these little games like there was My Facebook House. And you got to sort of do these little games and build little houses. There was a Russian game called Mafia New that I used to play with a lot of people that I'm still friends with. Some of you might remember Freddie, who did some shows with me earlier in the year. He and I met playing Mafia New on Facebook. God, it sounds so old-fashioned and vintagey now, doesn't it? But yeah, was anyone else on Facebook back in the days where you could release the dog or splash paint all over someone else's page? It was fucking hilarious. It was so much fun. And they had these really cute little games and communities, and I wish I could remember my login for MySpace. I kind of feel like we should do a MySpace revival, see if Tom is still our friends. What's up with you, Mercedes girl? Have you got any news? We're just enjoying this beautiful day and talking about all kinds of shit. God, my feet are loving being in the water, but they're so sore at the moment. I don't know why. But they feel like I've got really tight shoes on, but I'm not. I've got bare feet. I don't know if it's just the first barefoot walk in the summer on the beach. I don't know, or whether it's actually my feet are actually cold. That could be it. They might actually be freezing. But I feel like I'm wearing shoes that I've bought that are too tight and they're just pinching my feet really hard. It's so hard being inside studying on days like today. I think when I get home with my lunch, I'm going to, the sun will be overhead over on my house. And I think I might actually set myself up with a really long extension cord out onto the deck. This summer, I'm going to get someone to put a PowerPoint out onto the deck. But I might actually work out on the deck, get Biscuit to come and hang out with me. She's busting to go down into the garden again. She was singing the song of her people this morning. And I did promise her that I'll take her down into the garden today. So later on today, I'll make afternoon tea and take her down in the garden and let her, she's on a lead and a harness, but let her have a little explore. And she's so cute. She does her explore, but then she finds a place to curl up and have a bit of a nap. So I take her. It's because I'm old, exactly. Thanks, Ravens. Treasure chest. I can count on you for compliments. Yeah, it is. I'm old. My feet are sick of carrying me around. There's too many crazies on YouTube. Oh, I know. Your new laptop definitely better not go off your dining table. It cannot go anywhere near your oven or your cooktop, Tanny. How's Biscuit feeling? She's good. She's good. She just was singing the song of her people, and I promised her I'd put her on a harness this afternoon. But it's so funny when I take her down into the garden because my house is up on stilts. So if we're out on the deck, she can see down to the block below. And at the highest point, my house is like 2 stories high, but at the street end, it's nowhere near as high. So she's not going to jump off the railing into the garden from the deck. But we put the little harness on and the lead and we go. But I have to take with me a basket with, I basically make a cup of tea, or I've taken thermoses of hot tea down into the garden before, and a snack. I do like a little bento box of snacks. So when I go to the cafe in a minute, I'm going to see if they've got like a cute little bliss ball or a little cookie or something like that. So I have that. Then I also have a water bottle, and then my book that I'm reading at the moment. I would take my laptop, except it's no point because she likes to sort of curl up in the sun and I can't see the screen. I take my phone and I take a cushion and a towel or a little blanket, I've got like a little one-person blanket. And I make a little nest and just basically settle down for an hour while she has her nap. It's so cute, though. It's really nice to have that time out with her, and she loves it. But she doesn't like walking back up to the house because my block is quite steep. So the last time after her frolic, where she explored more of the garden than she ever has before, and then she had her little nap, I had to carry her and my basket of shit back up the hill to the house. Mercedes girl, she took to it like a champ. They say you can't teach an old dog or cat new tricks. So many people said to me, don't even waste your time getting her a harness. She's 9 years old. She's not going to have a bar of it. But she walks in it. She purrs when I put it on her because she knows we're going outside. I think because it means something positive, although I do put it on her when I take her to the vet as well, because she doesn't like vets and she ends up under furniture and stuff. So it's so much easier if I've got her attached to a lead. But yeah, she walks. I mean, she walks differently than when she doesn't have it on, but it sort of placates her a little bit too. It makes her calm. So, and she looks so cute in it. I should have put a picture of her as my thumbnail in her harness. It's on her Instagram, on Biscuit Boomba. I uploaded a photo of her in her harness the other day, looking very proud. She is a very special girl, Tanny. Yeah, I'm super proud of her, Mercedes girl. Although today, also on her Instagram page, today she was licking a broom. So, or a broom handle, Some days I think, God, she's so smart. She's she's adapted to walking around the garden on a harness and lead. She's so clever. She's a fucking mural. And then the next day she's licking a broom handle, as you do. But she's awesome. And I'm not a crazy cat lady. I'm a cool cat owner. The cat I own is cool. Ow, shit. And I stubbed my toe on a rock. Ouch. Because I'm old, right, Raven? Hi, Raven. Still here. That comment was hilarious. Because you're old. That's the sort of stuff my niece and nephew used to say to me. I like that kind of humour. But yeah, I think my feet might have just been frozen. Let's just walk on the sand for a while. Yeah, so my little broom handle licking cat. I don't own her either. I should have clarified that. She owns me. I'm her bitch. Big time. Oh, good stuff. Sorry, Tanny, to burst your bubble. Look, it's okay. It just makes you a little bit kooky. Just makes you a little bit kooky. She loves licking anything metallic. Um, I've got a metal elephant that I use as a doorstop that my sister gave me, and it's from Bali or India or somewhere like that. It's beautiful. She licks that. She licks my hydronic heating panels. I've got an old fashioned iron, you know, those, I think they were actually made of iron. Irons that in the colonial days they'd heat them up on the fire and then iron the clothes with them. You know, those ones. I've got a 7 pound one that sits in the bathroom and keeps it. I always have the bathroom window open and it keeps the bathroom door open because Biscuit can't open the door. Some people are walking past with their dogs, so I'm just trying to be respectful. I'll do a little 360. Look at the sky, Groovers. Look at this gorgeous day. Look at all the people that are down here. Not. Hello, beautiful. Hi. Lab's my favourite. Love the labs and the golden retrievers. She also licks. My sister gave me this thing that hangs outside the front door, and it's like rusty metal hook, and then there's a big circle, and the hook goes right through the middle of that sphere, and it's got some balls on it, and then there's a smaller circle inside that kind of spins around. You know, that one of those kind of things. Sometimes when it's really windy, I bring that in, and I used to lean it up against the boogie boards in the hallway, but there's like a little corner where the boogie boards sit, and I'd leaned it up against that. And one night I heard this kind of noise and looked down the hallway, and it was Biscuit licking it. I'm like, gee, I don't think rust is good for you, mate. But yeah, anything metallic, even a broom handle. She's got a weird phobia of brooms. I mean, I get it. She doesn't like vacuums. I suppose brooms at that level, when you're at ground level, that sort of thing coming towards you at high speed would be a bit spooky. But I'm really mindful to not get it out or start sweeping in front of her if she's near me. I'll wait till she's doing something else. But maybe now that she's discovered she likes the taste of the handle, she might be a bit happier to be around brooms. I did post in Pets of Isolation and just said, is anyone else living with a weirdo? And within a minute or two, someone was like, yeah, my cat licks broom handles. It's like, oh, good. It's not just mine. Isn't it pretty? It is almost going to be lunchtime. It's 11:16. I'll keep you guys with me till I get to the end of the beach and go to Park Cafe. I'm going to grab my sneakers. And then I'll head back up the hill, have lunch, do a bit more study, and then when I need a break, Savo, I'll take Biscuit down to the garden on her harness and lead. It's pretty cute, although it's funny, people, because she sort of, there's a little, I've got like a nasturtium plant growing over. I've got these two logs that my builder left on the block, which was a great idea. So he sort of created this, put them on a like right angle together, and it's kind of like a little seating area for where the fire pot is. And I've got cushions from my camper van that I sold, Gidget. So I put them on it. And it's a really nice, cozy spot for the fire pot. But to the sort of right of it, there's the original tree stump as well. And there's a nasturtium plant that grows over that, which is really handy if you like eating nasturtiums, which I do. And they're very nice to chip on your salad if you want some floral garnishes. But she sort of curls up there. but it's quite close to my fence. And so the other day I'm sitting there with my towel, sitting on my towel, reading my book, and these people that were walking down to the beach came along. They're like, "Oh, we don't normally see people this close to the fence." I was like, "No, I'm just here with my cash," and kind of pointed at Biscuit, and there she is with her harness on. I thought, they must think I'm fucking batshit crazy. These cool kind of surfer peeps are looking at me like, uh, we're going surfing and you've taken your cat for a walk. But I don't give a fuck. Biscuit loves it, and that's all that matters. Spot little moogie. So I guess on this walk we've established that yes, licking broom handles is perfectly acceptable, whether you're a human or a cat. We've established that most people on YouTube are batshit crazy. I wanted to do a series called The Batshits and just sort of do commentary about the stuff that happens on YouTube, and then I was like, don't do it. You'll just have a target on your back. Say one wrong thing and you'll have a whole community making your life hell. It's not worth it. And especially because I'm so sarcastic and dry, I've got a really dry sense of humour too. So people don't always get that. I'd be constantly having to go like, I'm really sorry you're not fluent in sarcasm. I reckon I've frozen. That sucks. Huh. Okay. Hey guys, I'm back. I had to I had to it was frozen on my phone, but StreamYard wasn't. So I left StreamYard, went to YouTube, saw I was still live, came back, punched in StreamYard, and it said it was still live as well. So I came back in. You're thinking about some of those lines. Okay, Tanny. Are you talking about the channel idea, the batshit? Yeah, I don't have the time to do it for starters, and I certainly don't have time to watch lots of different channels, so I'm not seen to be biased or only talking about one of them or two, or, the same crowd or whatever. Look at that. I love the patterns that the waves and the tides make with sand. Like nature's artwork is always so pretty. Isn't that beautiful? Or am I the only one that gets excited about shit like that? All the patterns in the sand. But these ones are beautiful because there's little sort of grooves. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have the time to do it, but also I don't really know how I would do it. Like I used to think I'd just do like a little TV show called The Batshits and sort of read it like a story. Um, Back in the day when I had the Australian Controversial Drama Channel, that was the whole point, was to sort of do a recap of what had been happening around the YouTubes and then do what the Australian drama equivalent was. But isn't it funny now? There are actually Australians involved in drama. So, but back in the day, it was like, meanwhile, back in Australia, someone's complaining because their pizza got burnt when they were reheating it. That'd be lovely, Tanny. Thank you. I've never been to Fraser Island. I've kind of had it on my list of places to go, but I'm never close enough to Fraser Island to go there. Like I feel like I'd have to do a specific trip just to go there. So, um, what else, peeps? What else? Oh yeah, but yeah, I don't want to end up with a target on my back, and people are likely to misconstrue my humour. I could just see it being an absolute nightmare. Oh, you haven't been there either. I want to go to Flinders Island and King Island before I go anywhere else. They're two Tasmanian islands that need to be explored. And I've explored a lot of this beautiful island, but there's still so much to explore. So yeah, they're the first places that I want to go to by plane. Oh, here's some shells. We normally don't get shells this far up. For some reason, they're usually all up around the bluff. But the ocean's brought in a few today. Some really pretty ones. The shadow of my thing out of the way. Look at the little stripes on that one. Pretty. Oh, spiky. And then there's some more up here in a little cluster too. A little seam. That's the word I was after. They look big. They're not really big. Shells, they're pretty small. I mean, there's a few that are big. That's quite big. This one's a bit of a fatty bar. Pretty though. Mainly here we get blues and whites. Occasionally, like these little sort of peach coloured ones. They're pretty. Hey, Ruth. I'm wrapping up shortly. I'm going to go up to the coffee shop and get lunch. It's such a gorgeous day here today, though. There's a few people on the beach enjoying it as well. There were more people down here. Actually, no, this morning was really weird. It was so beautiful. It's weird. On days that the weather is quite average, the beach can be really busy. And when I say really busy, like 30 people on the whole beach. This morning it was dead calm and so peaceful and really sunny and warm even early in the morning. And there were three of us on the beach. I wish you could come and have a coffee too. The cafe's got some nice big share tables out the front, and I've met quite a few people just sitting there chatting to them. The guy that opened the cafe used to have an incredibly popular high-end restaurant in Hobart called Franklin, and COVID-19 kind of put an end to it, which sucks. While a lot of restaurants were able to stay afloat doing takeaway and stuff, the whole premise of Franklin was a small number of diners being treated to an incredible sort of degustation menu. So the small numbers was made up by having an expensive menu. And although they could have reinvented and tried a few things, like the actual premise of the restaurant would have been lost. So, and they'd been highly successful. These guys have moved around and done lots of other awesome things in Hobart as well. But one of them broke away and he's come down here and opened up the cafe, which is why we're being treated to such incredibly good food. Very simple menu, all fresh seasonal stuff, fantastic coffees. They make their own iced coffees and iced chocolates that you can take away as well in recyclable bottles. It's very novel. It's very nice. But we're just so lucky, you know, we're so lucky that this top Hobart restaurateur's gone, actually, fuck it. I just want to do a cafe by the beach. And everyone's loving it. And there's a bit of roadworks happening down here at the moment. And all the tradies and people that are doing all the roadworks were saying they haven't eaten this well in years. Because normally they're working on roads in country and rural areas. And, you know, the only thing in sight for food is like service stations, gas stations for anyone American listening, or, you know, like little road houses. And now they're getting these gourmet lunches, really affordable, but like, you know, next level, awesome sauce, cafe style food and fabulous coffees. So yeah, they've all been saying that they're they're loving that the roadworks have been happening right outside where the cafe is. Mind you, we've got an awesome greengrocer sort of slash gourmet deli slash IGA not far from here as well that do beautiful salads and sushi and, you know, quite a lot of the time people that are working on roads and stuff down here will go to Hill Street and grab stuff and come and eat it on the beach, which is also pretty cool. And we've got your, you know, traditional bakery for all the things Tanny's talking about, pies and sausage rolls and stuff. But Park does more superfood things. So they do poke bowls and superfood bowls and really nice, like the toasted sandwich I'm going to have is artichoke and a creamy, cheesy sauce on really stunning bread. With beautiful butter. They do like granola and muesli and yogurt stuff. They do salads that you can either go pure vegan, vegetarian, or you can chuck some animal protein on or fish protein. You're swimming, Ruth, out in the ocean. A large coffee with cream and a plate of something yummy. Well, yeah, I'm going to go and get myself a plate of something yummy. I might even, if it's a nice day, I might even sit there and eat it in the sunshine. See what's happening on, shit, my phone's nearly flat. That's all right. I might, you know, do the old-fashioned thing and read the paper. Mind you, the Tasmanian weekly paper or daily paper is very thin and I call it the world's cheapest joke book. I do get some material out of it, but it doesn't take long to read cover to cover. Although Thursday, I think, is real estate day, so there might be the real estate guide. That tends to stretch the reading out by another 10 minutes. How lovely is that house? It's just nestled there, almost on the sand. He smacked a shark. Oh, you've got a vivid imagination, Ruth. I love it. So we had a bit of fun with the live scam baiting last night. I'll try and get Ray chatting today or tonight so we can maybe do the hard Karen or maybe even later this afternoon. I'm going to yin yoga at 6:30, I think, or 6:15 it might be. Not yin, vinyasa flow. So I might either go live a bit earlier or when I get home. Maybe when I get home. Ray doesn't seem to chat much. He's got shit reception. Mark's clingy. I need a break from Mark. The famous painted water tanks. They're not famous. They are now. They're on YouTube. The famous toilet block. And the incredibly famous foot wash stand. Yeah. I really think my feet. It feels like I slept with them in a vice. You keep smacking those sharks, Ruth. So I'm on my second last week of study, and they've unlocked the last module today, and I'm still in the third. I've just started the third module, so I've got a lot to do before the end of next week. And then I'm thinking about doing a post-grad course in dementia, so I can look at doing some work in that area next year. We'll stop here because I don't like getting breathless and everyone giving me shit about them. Look at them whales. Mark not only has a soft winky, he has a soft head too. Yeah. I was going to say he's disappointing, but I mean he's a fucking scammer. Like, can you get more disappointing than that, really? But he's almost likable at times because he's got a sense of humour and he's quite funny off script. And then he gets all clingy and the beady eyes. What was all that stuff last night when he was spying? No watchy, no spy. And then, yeah, when I went back live to show you all that he'd sent all those googly eyes, I'll be watching you. Stop doing that, Mark. Creepy. Creepy. I mean, let's be honest. Even someone that met him on Facebook thought he was genuine, was starting to contemplate sending him money, yada, yada, yada. Surely they wouldn't like those googly eyes and a comment from a guy saying, I will be watching you. Or is it just me? Maybe it's just me. It was too much for me. If I met a man like that in real life and he started speaking to me like that on a third or fourth date, I'd be like, this isn't going to work. Oh my God, Tanny just sent 22 photos. That's probably why my bloody my phone froze. Fuck, Tanny, I'll have a look at them in a little while. Geez, 22. Tony doesn't do anything by halves, guys, ever. I didn't even know you could send 22 photos in one hit in Messenger. I'm impressed. And there's the sign. See, look, here's the roadworks. And then over there's the blue sign that park is open. So that's where we're headed. Hey, Gareth. Garrett's the dog. Some of you might have met him on one of my lives before. His mum and I hang out at the gym a lot. I wonder if... Yeah, Ruth, you could be right. Some people switch off their creep meter because they're sad and lonely. Oh, you only did just then, Tony. I was kind of kidding about it freezing my phone. Dingoes and the sand things. Thank you. Yeah, you could be right, Ruth. People are very forgiving when they meet someone and they're getting a little bit, romantically involved. They might be like, oh, look, he's a bit clingy, but he's in Yemen. He's having a hard time. I'm just going up here so I can end the live because I don't want to put people who are at the cafe in the shot too much. But that's it just there. So I'm just going to come up here and say my farewells. But yeah, you could be right. We do, when we meet someone, we do tend to be a lot more forgiving and, well, not even so much forgiving. Sometimes we're just completely oblivious that they're doing and saying things that down the track, when we've been with them for a long time, become those things that really piss you off about them. Isn't that gorgeous through there with the little gate, little Tory gate? Yeah, there's the cultural differences, of course. But then you've got to wonder, like, with these guys pretending to be American soldiers, if they're actually chatting to Americans, that cultural stuff doesn't apply, right? But then why aren't Americans going, how come your English is so bad? Or American English. I've had a few Americans say to me, what language do you speak? We speak American English. I'm like, I speak English too. You guys have changed it a bit, and American English is probably a good way to describe it. But yeah, same language for the most part. Few differences. But I know that a lot of people find the term American English a bit wanky. It's like you just speak English, you've just changed it a bit. Oh, this water is so delicious. I've got 18% left on my phone. Yum. I've got these tea infusers that sort of add the natural, they're not synthetic or artificial, that add flavour to water. And I find I drink a lot more water. But I put them in like my water bottle. This is the water bottle for one day and leave them in it sort of for 24 hours. So I pop them in, drink it with that flavour, and then leave it overnight if there's any left, or I fill it up again. And then I don't put them in my bottle again for like the rest of the week, but they've still got that lingering flavour, and it's this really yummy blueberry and lime flavour. It's yum, but it's very subtle. I have washed the bottle since I last used it, but yeah, the flavour stays in it. So if anyone struggles with drinking lots of water, I love water, but I find I get bored with it if it's plain. So I like putting fresh lemon, mint, And then I found these infusions, but I've got to kind of try to remember what the infusion flavour was. So when I add things, although I think lemon and mint goes pretty well with anything. But yeah, we might have a bit of Karen um, soon, maybe tonight when I'm back from yoga, if he's talking. Or I'll try and chat with him a little bit today and build up enough to at least do an episode on an update on what's been happening with them. He probably will chat today because he's expecting Karen to buy him an iTunes card. We're back on that again. So, yeah, Ruth, I know what you're saying. You've been pulled up for bad English. I know. I know. One thing I've noticed, which we don't say in Australia either, but you guys do say, and being English, it's your language, and is when you're like, when you say, um, I'm sat here. Is that how you say it? Like, I'm sat here watching YouTube, or like there's a way you use the word sat. I'm just sat here minding my own business. Is that how you say it? Because like we say sitting. There's a way that you say the word sat, and I love it because it's very English. But I've seen so many Americans on YouTube getting stuck into English people for saying sat the way you guys do. And I'm like, well, you haven't just messed around with English, America, but you've also messed around with French. Like, nowhere on the planet except America does the word entree mean main. It's entree. It's the start of. It's French word for first, well, not first, but start. Entree. I'm getting the warning that my battery's starting to go flat. Um, aluminum. What the fuck? Put that I back in and pronounce it properly. It's aluminium. But yeah, I'm sat here waiting for the bus. Yeah, and I think it's really cute. It's kind of colonial and quirky, maybe a bit cockney. I don't know, but I like it. But I've seen so many people say, to like take the piss out of English people for saying that in chat on YouTube, and it's like, well, okay, here's another Americanism that no one else ever says. When you're getting bitten by a snake, they say, I got bit by a snake. They don't say bitten. I got bit by a snake. Well, yeah, I could care less, which is a weird one. We need to do a live on this one day before my phone dies. We'll chat till I get down to 10%. I've got a message from my sister that I want to respond to. And Tanya, I'll look at your photos when I get home, but I probably won't have enough battery to check them out thoroughly and give you a review on 10%. But yeah, I could care less. It's couldn't care less. I could care less means you need to make an effort and care even less than you already are. What about many of times? This has happened many of times. No, it's happened many times. What's the of doing in there? They drug everything everywhere too instead of dragged. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of dead bodies get drugged. I mean, we even say drag, don't we? Like, probably best that you drag that across the floor, not drug that across the floor. What about herb? Can you put the H? Well, the H is still there. Can we say herb? Herb? It's not a silent H. It's not herbs. Oh, can we have herbs on that? You can have herbs. What the fuck is an herb? Many a time? Yeah. Yep. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could take the piss out of other languages too, including Australian. like one thing that cracks me up about English in England, English, is what we call prams, you guys call pushchairs. I don't know why. I don't know why, but for some reason, pushchair makes me piss myself laughing because it really is literally a pushchair. And I've often bitched about kids that can walk that are sitting there in their little bloody thrones on wheels being pushed around in their chairs. But see, we call them prams. I used the word nappies one day and got corrected and told to use diaper. And it's like, no, I say nappies. And you clearly knew what I was talking about because you told me to use diaper. I've said quite a few things in chats that have been misunderstood or misconstrued, including my channel name, Yumters. What's that all about? How do you get Yumters? Calculators, translators, navigators. Well, I mean, it's more like navigators. But Yumters, okay. It's like when I introduce myself to people as Victoria, and they say, "Nice to meet you, Vicky," and I go, "I actually prefer Tori or Victoria," and they go, "Okay, Victoria," in these posh voices, and it's like, I'm actually just asking you to call me by a name I like, and it's my name. You shortened it to something I can't stand for me. No offense to any Vickies out there, but I'm not a Vicky, and I don't like it. And I get no problem, Victoria. I was like, what the fuck is that all about? You can call me Hodgie. I don't give a shit. Call me fuckface even. Just don't call me Vicky. Don't give me shit because I tell you the name I prefer. Isn't that the polite thing to do? I mean, I didn't say, hi, I'm Vicky. G'day, Vicky. Hello, my name's Victoria. Hi, Vicky. No, I didn't say that. We do put an O in a lot of words and names, Dino. We also put I's, like my friend Anne, still to this day, it does her head in that people call her Annie. She loves the name Anne and she loves being called Anne. But Aussies change it to Annie. It's like my nephew James. My sister-in-law said we like James because it can get shortened to Jim or Jimmy, but it's one of those names. It's pretty solid in its own right. The whole family calls him Jimmy Jack James. We lengthened it. My niece Lily is Lily Grace, but known in the family as Lily Lou. Why? Why? My nephew Jock, he gets Jocko. Lorries. Well, we say trucks, but we say lorries too, but generally we say trucks. And Jesus, when I got Biscuit, I had to say, right, okay. So if Biscuit was in America, she'd actually be called Cookie because what you guys call biscuits, we actually call scones. But a biscuit in Australia is what you guys call a cookie. So just call her Cookie. And they all call her Cookie Cat because I can't call her Biscuit. But then we don't usually do scones and gravy either. Oh, scones. Aren't they great? Especially when they're made by the CWA. All right, I'm on 10%. Thanks for hanging out, Groovers. I hope you've enjoyed the walk and the talk. Be good to each other. Take care out there. And if you do hang out in the batshits channels, don't let it affect you personally. Just take it all with a grain of salt and have a good old rollicking laugh. I'm sat here about to end my live. Love you guys. Stay groovy.